Well, good morning. You tapping along? Yeah, playing the drums, doing the taps. That's what it sounds like, right? Good morning to you and welcome into the show. If you're new to the show, I'm Monica Adams, your host, The Real Monica Adams Show. And we're going to get real today. Authenticity is so very important in our lives. And today we're going to talk about wellness. We're going to talk about faith over fear and just this awakening that's happening. Do you feel it? A lot of people are calling it a revival, but you definitely feel a shift in the world. We'll talk about that today. I want you to be real interactive with me. So feel free to say good morning to your community because this is your show. If you have been outside, you already know this. If you haven't, just a heads up that it is very foggy. So be careful if you're in our St. Louis area over in Southern Illinois. If you're outside of St. Louis, let us know what the weather is where you are. We kick things off by letting you know there is fog and it's pretty heavy in some areas. Some afternoon rain and thunderstorms are expected today with a high in the mid 70s. Tomorrow, beautiful 77 degrees. Friday looks gorgeous as well, partly sunny and 80. And we'll be checking back in with Beckett on Friday. Saturday and Sunday, no clouds whatsoever. We're in the low to mid 80s. By the way, St. Louis City SC back in action Saturday night. And then into next week, mid 80s, low 80s, and the lows for the evening. We're talking about low 60s. So yeah, we officially welcomed in fall on Monday afternoon, and it's definitely made, it's like, God just said, let's flip the switch. Everybody's ready for it. We're done with the drought. Now we're getting the rain that is so desperately needed. How are you transitioning, by the way, your decorations? Have you already decorated for fall? Are you already decorating for Halloween? Let me know that as well. I'd love to know that. All right, we're going to talk about some wellness today. We're going to visit with a friend of ours. If you haven't had a chance to see her on the show yet, we're going to bring her back today to talk about, again, benefits of what she offers to the world, which is spas and more. Hi, Angie Hess.
Good morning, Monica. How are you?
Good to see you. How
Nice
things
to
been
see you
going along?
too.
I was talking to Angie before we came on, and she said this year has just been great. And I love the word blessed that hangs above our fireplace. And I think you would probably use that same word, wouldn't you?
Oh, very much so. I mean, people are still very much into getting taking care of themselves is more prevalent this year than ever. Where we're seeing a lot more people who are coming in looking for those wellness products, hot tub, swim spa, cold plunge, and infrared sauna. It's nice and cool outside this morning, but it's nice scorcher in here at about 128 degrees right now.
I was just going to say, tell everybody where you are right now.
Yep. So I am actually sitting inside our showroom, inside our Sweaty Goat 3-person sauna, infrared sauna. So right now, like I said, it's now 129 degrees. This does go up to about 160 degrees right now because of the temperature. The heart rate is getting elevated, and it's actually bringing you up into a cardio workout. So
Oh my gosh,
you're
seriously?
getting, yes, it is. As you start increasing your body temperature in the sauna, you actually start getting the benefits of a cardio workout. And the timer tells me that I want more time. So there we go.
The cool thing is, the other thing is that a lot of people enjoy switching colors around. So when Angie and I were getting ready to go on, it was more of like this pink hue. But do people love to pick different colors? And when they're picking the colors, do you feel like that it is like the mood that they're in or the mood they want to be in?
Very much so. So this is chromotherapy lighting. So each and every color gives you some sort of benefit, whether it's a stress relief, whether it's an energy enhancer, whether it's a relaxation. Right now I'm kind of in the red color, which is more of an energetic, kind of an energy boost.
Makes sense.
You
Good morning.
you can actually change the colors over to where you have
Look at that. I love it. I is there a blue?
there is a blue.
Oh, because everybody knows that I'm known for blue. It's Monica Blue. Oh
Yep.
yeah, yeah. There we
So
go.
here we are. We have the blue color. We have purple, green, white. Again, different kinds of colors for different energy. Chromotherapy is kind of one of those things that people might call it hokey, but to actually understand that it does affect your mental state,
Mhm.
and colors, bring out the best or sometimes the worst in us. But when you're looking at a blue like this one, you're actually getting a sense of calm. Um,
Exactly.
so
It,
it's a good way to do some meditate, a good color for meditation
oh yeah.
purposes while you're in the sauna.
I'm big on that. If you're just tuning in, again, she's one of our sponsors. I'm going to talk to her in just a second about the people that are watching and thinking, yeah, maybe I'd like to sponsor the show. We'll talk about why Angie wanted to be a part of this and for us to put our brands together. If you are just tuning in and you've thought about pulling the trigger, get a hot tub, a sauna, a cold plunge, do contrast therapy, this is who I want you to go to. We'll let you know where they're located in just a second. But let's talk about some benefits. So again, as Angie said, she's in the sauna. So this is Sweaty Goat. You want to tell them why it's called that?
Yeah, so Master Spas has been partnering with Michael Phelps since about 2010. And when he finally, this year, after, as part of his retirement over the last couple of years, he has decided to help us bring in some more wellness products that help him in his mental health. So the Sweaty Goat is sweaty, obviously, because we're in a sauna, but goat as in the greatest of all time.
Absolutely.
So that is Michael Phelps to a T.
And again, so you were talking about some of the features. What do you find the people that have purchased these saunas from you? What have they said? Have they, as they've come back in, how it's changed their lives?
I mean, it to be able to have more freedom of movement. Like for myself, with having fibromyalgia and some other connective tissue disorders, being able to move my joints freely because the sauna is actually helping reduce that inflammation that is on my joints. People who have some issues with like high blood pressure, being able to step into the sauna for a way to relax. It helps lower cortisol levels. It helps drop down your blood pressure. It has a whole realm of other things as far as helping draw toxins out of the body. So people who have some issues with like heavy metal toxicity in their system and stuff, that helps actually bring those toxins to the surface and sweat them out.
So that's some of the benefits. So if you would look at this and figure, okay, as people are watching, who would most benefit from this? What would you say?
I mean, anybody and everybody can actually benefit from sauna use. But those people who have those ailments, who have the arthritis, who are
Yeah.
dealing with swelling, who are dealing with blood pressure issues, those are the kind of people who are going to benefit from being in the sauna, because some of those people are kind of limited in their exercise and what
Mhm,
they can and can't do.
mhm.
And like I mentioned before, when you're sitting in the sauna, when you're in there sitting in it, once it hits about 105 degrees and you start letting your body build up in temperature with the sauna, you actually are getting the equivalent of about a 5 to 10 minute cardio workout, because it's increasing your heart rate and it's in doing all of those things.
Yeah, it's just absolutely incredible. It's so funny. I'm looking at comments and someone said, "You look like you're in a sauna." She is.
Yep.
And actually,
Yep.
Kathy was saying that she's been doing that a lot over the last few weeks. So, yeah, if you don't have one yourself, but you have access to one when you go to the gym and you think, okay, is it a little hokey? Does it really work? Why should I get in? Should they incorporate that after a workout, before a workout? What's your viewpoint on that?
Usually after a workout is always good. I mean, because it helps with it helps kind of with a recovery basis too, because it does prevent like your muscles from kind of cramping up
Mhm.
and everything, because it keeps that inflammation in those and keeps everything moving more efficiently. Contrast therapy is a wonderful thing too, where you're going from like a cold tub to a sauna to be able to get the health benefits that go along with those, where you're increasing your metabolism rate. And when you're increasing your metabolism rate, you're burning fat better. You're converting your bad fat to good fat, so you can actually burn it easier. And then you get into the sauna, and the sauna helps aid with that fat burning process, because it's increasing your heart rate and is giving you those benefits of a workout.
And so when people are looking at purchasing a sauna, and I think we have mentioned this before, but it's beneficial to say it again. The difference between infrared and traditional.
Sure. So a traditional sauna is what most people are used to, and still what a lot of gyms and other places have, which is the steam sauna.
Hmm.
Steam saunas are great just to like for relaxation purposes, but they don't provide the ultimate health benefits that an infrared sauna does. The one thing about a traditional sauna is when you walk into steam, you're getting that immediate sweat, which everybody thinks, oh, yes, that's what I need. I'm sweating everything out. But you're really not sweating everything out. It's just your top layers of skin is actually just sweating. But when you're in an infrared sauna, it takes you a while. You're getting an internal sweat, which means that sweat is building up from the inside and it's bringing it to the surface. So I've been in here now at 136 degrees now, and I've been in here for about 15, 20 minutes, and just now and my skin is starting to get tacky with sweat, but that means it's drawing everything from the inside of your subcutaneous layers and bringing those toxins to the surface. So it is a healthy sweat because it's getting stuff out versus just being a topical sweat, which is just what people think is so satisfying,
Right.
but it's really not in the long run.
And then lastly, how long should we, ideally for health benefits, how long should we stay in?
Anywhere from 20 minutes to a half hour at a time is best. And again, you're spending part of that time letting your body build as the temperature goes. So whenever you get to the set temperature you want it at, sitting at that set temperature a good 15, 20 minutes is going to be ideal. But letting your body build with the heat as it increases in temperature is the best way to get the best benefits out of it.
All right, I'm not going to let her to go too long because I think your phone's heating up.
It is a little bit. I've got my water, so we're going to go.
Well, Angie, I want to thank you. We thank all of our sponsors for being a part of this show, because without all of you, and of course, all of you watching at home, we couldn't do what we do every day. What made you want to be a part of the Real Monica Adams Show?
So we decided this year that we would want to do a bigger focus on our health and wellness benefits. And we know how much health and wellness and everything has become part of your life, especially with your accident and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
So we feel that we want to make sure that we're sponsoring the people who fit our ideals, but not just our ideals about health and wellness, but our ideals about everyday life and being, blessed. We contribute everything we have to God in our growth and making sure that we can be the best people out possible, treating our customers and our employees with kindness. And we feel that you represent that as well.
Well, I thank you so very, very much. I hope you have a great day. And I love the fact that we were able to have this as you were in the sauna. That was super cool. Angie, I will be in to see you soon. I'm going to talk Jim into that dang hot tub.
Okay.
All right, my friend. Thank you. All right. Let me tell you where they're located, by the way. Spas and More. Spas and More STL.com is where you can find them online. At Spas and More STL. Again, if you want to check them out on social media, they're located at 12957 Gravois Road in Sunset Hills. The phone number, by the way, is 314-843-7727. And they are open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You saw a little bit of the showroom that you can go in and look at those saunas. You can look at the cold plunges. You can look at the swim spas and the hot tubs. Again, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Saturday. And we thank her so much. And of course, all of you that are just tuning in this morning, good morning to you. I'm going to take a quick break. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on in the world. And more so, it's this change. In fact, I look outside and I was telling you how foggy it was. And now within 15 minutes, and this is how life is, right? That we feel like everything is down on us and we're not going to come out of the storm and we're not going to come out of the fog and there's darkness in the world. And how in the world do we ever see the light again? Well, it's just like this, right? I look outside and now it looks like the fog is parting and it's getting clearer. That is how your life will be. Trust us on that. But if you need a little help, right? You need this community to lift you up. Just reach out. Just feel free to drop a comment in. Today, I want to be here for you to bring more faith into the life of whatever that looks like for you. And so again, how about this? As we go to the break, why don't you answer this for me? When someone says faith to you, what does it mean? Like, do you automatically, I should say, go in your mindset to religion? Or what is faith? Can you do me a favor? Drop a comment in, whatever platform you're on, whether you're live or you watch this later, and let me know when someone says faith. Automatically, where does your mind go with that? Because what we're going to do is take all of that and we're going to make this beautiful, let's say, fabric, because I love my fashion. We're going to clothe you in what will protect you and what will carry you forward to have faith over fear. What does faith look like to you? welcome back. And if you haven't joined Crunch Fitness yet, I highly recommend you go in, get a free pass, and check them out because we've been talking about how absolutely amazing they are. And they're one of our many sponsors. Please do me a favor and look here below. I like to give a little extra bonus to our sponsors, all of them, to thank them for being a part of the Real Monica Adams Show. And that goes from Legacy Physical Therapy, who's one of our newer sponsors, Dr. Brooke Kalisiak. She'll be back on with us next month, mid-month, with Legacy Physical Therapy. She was so good. So is JG Optimal Wellness and Jenny Gabriel. She's been on a handful of times and has become one of your favorites. You ask a lot of questions of her, and I love that when we talk about nutrition, diets, as well as, Chesta said she likes Jenny as well, perimenopause, menopause, etc., as well as spas and more. We just visited with Angie. Grade Works LLC, shout out to Mike Vernacy, Crunch Fitness, Just Pools, Slyman Brothers Appliances, which we will be at on Friday. Tessa, Yuppie Puppy Pet Spa, and Jessica Cook, who I'll be with tomorrow, as well as Defiance Ridge Vineyards, who we'll be with this afternoon at 4 o'clock, and Dot Fleshman, real estate agent, when we do our Friendship Friday. So those are all our current sponsors. But would you like to be a part of the show? As Angie just said, taking your brand and our brand and putting them together in the aspect of health and wellness and all the things that we want to provide for your world. So, Tessa, come here. I went into the break, and I'm being very real with you today, right? I'm welcoming you into our home. It's always a different look. Sometimes I'm outside. Sometimes we're by the pool. Sometimes I'm up in my office. Today, I thought I would bring you in the space of literally welcoming you to a beginning. And so when I woke up this morning, my word was refreshed and energized, but it's also this refreshed feeling of turning over a new leaf, or the movement that I feel. And you tell me if you feel it as well. Do you feel the movement in the world? I said this a year ago. Now everyone's talking about it just feels different, that I have the movement of faith over fear, that whether it's a revival, whether it is, again, we're going to have you fill in the what does faith look like to you, and what do you even think faith is? So I'm going to look at all the platforms. Let's see. Let me go back real quick here. Mama D said regular sauna, no infrared, right? Thank you, Angie, and the entire Spas and More team. Believe in goodness. Okay, that one we'll have to take off. That's a spammer. Rose, so many people are hurting, Monica. Health, financial, mental, especially anxiety. Faith to me is hope. Okay, so Rose says faith is hope. Without God, it's worse. Give it up to him. Okay, that's Rose's comment. I'll ask Gabriel, who's moderating at home. Gabriel, what is faith to you? Because I also like to talk to different generations. Let me look over on Instagram real quick. All right, anybody else that wants to tell me, what does faith mean to you? Now, for me, it is believing in guidance. Now, look, I didn't go religious, even though I am faith-based as to going to church and believing in God, and had an incredible conversation with a woman who's coming on to do a Mobile Monica coming in December. Had no idea that she was so faith-based. And she's like, I give it all to Jesus Christ. I think this is a really cool thing to tell you. She's like, by the way, I'm Jewish. By the way, I'm Black, woman, all the things that you could label and categorize of, oh, well, maybe she only thinks this way, or maybe she only thinks that way. Nope. And that's the other thing about the way the world, oh, I just got chill again. The way the world is right now, right? So we're all coming together. What brought us together? Was it what happened a couple of weeks ago with the assassination of Charlie Kirk? Or were you already wanting to step forward in faith, but now you feel like you have a new lease on life and that you want to join all of the sheep that are coming together, not scattering? I've been telling people that this is how I feel of what happened. A shepherd was gunned down violently, and the sheep didn't scatter. In fact, we saw packed stadiums, not only the one in Arizona, not only 100,000 inside, 100,000 outside, but we saw people at stadiums, Dallas Cowboys, Kansas City Chiefs. I could go on and on. People watching. I'm sure the numbers of the news channels were skyrocketing, of everybody coming forward, even though we're believing on different sides of the aisle. I believed things that he said. There are things that I didn't agree with. And when I posted about that, by the way, I lost followers. I think it's interesting that we have the word followers, don't you? I don't know why I didn't think of it before, but it was such an awakening, because we think about going back in biblical times and the followers of Jesus Christ, the followers of God, the followers of the Holy Spirit. They were called followers. Well, they're so also now called followers on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. We ask you to subscribe. That doesn't cost anything. We just ask you to come along. I'm watching The Chosen right now on Amazon Prime, and that is literally as if you believe that Jesus picked his apostles, his disciples, and said, I want you to follow me. Give it all up and follow me. Give up your families, give up clothing, give up food. Well, how are we going to survive? Do you trust me? Right? It's just amazing, the belief in someone or something higher than us. That's where I am on this. And so Janet says faith is hope, peace, prayer in talking to God. Absolutely. So Mama D, I'll look at that. It doesn't really relate to what we're talking about right now, except for the fact that you did said fear, as far as what your fear is. We'll look at that. Again, I need to stay on point here as we're talking to our audience, and I want to combine all of us together. Okay, we've got 30 of you on between the platforms. Let's grow this. I want you to tell your family and friends to get on. I love when I see these numbers just go, go, go. And by the way, that's the other thing. So I do not buy followers. There's a lot of people, social media influencers. I understand that you look at their numbers and you're like, oh my gosh, they've got 100,000, 500,000, a million followers. Do they really? Or is that fake? I want you to think about that. I did not realize that people could buy a following. Okay, so I mentioned Gabriel. Gabriel is moderating today. Gabriel, did you answer that yet? If not, I need you to do so right now for me, if you can. What does faith mean to you? The younger generation. Faith, just period. The word faith. So as you're signing on right now, I want you to tell me, what does faith mean to you? And then how can we have faith over fear? So it's two things. In no way did I give it a definition. I didn't say that faith is in any way related to religion. In your eyes, it may be. In my eyes, it may be. Haven't said yet. Fear, though, what does fear mean to you? That's the other question. You have two things that I want you to answer for me right now. Faith, fear, what do they mean? And how do they stifle you, paralyze you? How do they not allow you to, from a wellness standpoint, be able to step into the person that you ultimately are trying to become? Is it a community or a group that's holding you back? Or are you stepping into a brand new community that you've never been a part of before? Gabriel said faith is belief in God and a trust in his plan. Okay, see, so his is a connection to God. But the word faith does not have to have a biblical sense to it. The word faith is whatever you feel connects you to changing. Okay, so let's say it's faith in breaking addictions, it's faith in not overeating. It's faith in not believing in yourself. It's faith in what people are saying about you isn't true, right? People putting you in a corner, people labeling you, saying you don't deserve this. You're never going anywhere. All of those things, think about what that is, but ultimately take it all together and then say, where does it come from? You know, I looked at Erica Kirk speaking in the stadium at the memorial. And when you see her eyes filled with tears and then looking up, where's she looking? Is she looking to God? For her, yes. Obviously, Charlie and her were very faith-based in church, in their belief of Jesus Christ, their belief in God, the belief in the higher power, and Erica's belief that he is now sitting alongside his creator. So we do bring devotionals into this show. You know, I was raised, in fact, I will tell you, I was raised in a very devout Catholic family. My mom is one of the most devout Catholics that I know. So I have a very Catholic foundation. And then I look at the spiritual path. So I've gone to different churches. I've gone to Lutheran Church out in O'Fallon, Missouri. I have gone to non-denominational. I still go with my mom when she stays here at our house to a Catholic church. Then I also go to the Crossing in Chesterfield, in Fenton. I've met a lot of you. I want to meet more of you. One of the ladies that sings there reached out to me and she's like, it was so good to see you. Well, it's really beautiful for me to see what is happening, which is the awakening. I believe it is an awakening of something within you. It has stirred something in you, and that's a good thing. It has shaken you to your core. Oh, by the way, I saw somebody on social media last night, whether this is true or not, you can fact check it for me, but she said there was an earthquake, 4 point something magnitude in Utah specific, shortly after the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And she's like, if you don't think that gives you chills and is back to the biblical aspect of with God and when he was angry that there was a true quake and a shivering in the world, and it happened shortly thereafter, is it irony? I don't know. And I don't know if that is her just trying to get followers or if that is in fact true. So, Gabriel, can you do me a favor? On September 10th, can you find out if there was an earthquake in Utah? See if that is in fact true. Let's see. Julie says, believing in a higher power helping you get through life. Okay, if you're just tuning in, what I'm asking is, what does fear mean to you? What does it look like? What does faith mean to you? What's your definition? I mean, that's simple. I'd love to see a bunch of you because I like being interactive. I want to see a bunch of you tell me, what does faith mean to you? Mama D, thank you for saying that you like the blue nails. They're coming off today, though. As I get ready for my anniversary, I'm going to change that up. Julie, for me, faith includes God, but I was raised in the Catholic Church. Yes. And so what we want is, honestly, it is the unknown that's scary for people. But we also, Julie, me, you, everybody else, Gabriel, that does believe that faith has a connection to God. We need to do what? Open the path for those that maybe were non-believers, open the path for those who've never opened a Bible, open the path for those who are now opening a Bible for the first time in a year, 5 years, 10 years, maybe for the first time ever understanding what it even means. Maybe now the awakening is taking place so that you can actually understand the words. Because in the past, I've heard a lot of people, including myself, that I would read through the Bible and go, I am so confused of what this is, which is why, by the way, when I told you there's a community waiting for you, people are there in Bible study classes, men's, women's, children's, communities getting together for the first time ever and having Bible study to actually say, it's okay that you didn't understand, but this is our interpretation. And remember, we're not there. We weren't there when these stories happened. So we have to believe, or we're trying to. And if you don't, it's okay. I really, truly, just like Charlie did, Charlie said, debate me. I would love to hear different viewpoints. I want to hear from the people who decided to unfollow if they by chance find this and they didn't block me. I want to hear from people that maybe are your followers that say, no, I don't believe. And here is why. Because all we need to do is say, okay, I don't really like the word debate. I like having an open discussion. For those of you that don't believe in God, that don't believe in Jesus Christ, look, I understand because people look at the things that are happening in the world and they say, well, what kind of a God? How about this? For those of you that do believe, you want to answer this question for them? They say, what kind of a God would allow this kind of an evil to take place in our world? Isn't that a very powerful question? Well, if you go all the way back to Adam and Eve, he gave them a choice. And that is what he gives each and every one of us. That's the way I believe. Each and every one of us every single day to make a choice in life. He's going to lay it there before us, but there's also going to always be the tug of good and evil, the enemy, and for us, God, Jesus, right? So I agree, Julie, it's faith involving God for me as well. Rose, fear, now she's going into the fear one, right? We're asking you, what does fear look like to you? What does faith look like to you? Fear is not having faith. That's according to Rose. Faith is trusting a good outcome. Positivity. Okay. And Gabriel did look into this for me. A 4.1 magnitude earthquake was reported in eastern Utah. Okay. I got to chill. What do you think about that? That the earth quaked and trembled because God was angry. That is how this influencer was talking about it. Yeah. I don't know. Faith, according to Mama D, is believing in something higher than yourself. It doesn't have to be God. It just has to believe somebody outside your own. I'm a faith believer. He restored my life in so many ways and prepared me for a horrific walk. And he guides her through the walk, by the way. You know, we go back to that whether you have it hanging in your house or maybe it's in a prayer card, but I always love the footsteps, right? The footprints and the questioning, because I think that's where we are in life right now. The questioning of, but where is he? Look, Erica Kirk could have done that. Anybody that has lost their way, anybody that's sitting in a hospital room right now, anybody that has a person on hospice, anybody whose child was murdered, or any horrific thing that's happened in life, you say, but where were you in those times? Why, when I'm looking at the footprints, do I only see one set of footprints? And in that, he said, well, my child, that was when I was carrying you. Right? He is carrying us through the storm. I'm about ready to tear up. I got crazy cold. Look at, if you can see him, I have goosebumps right now because he's speaking through me. In fact, when I wake up in the morning, it is a discussion that I have with him that says, what do you want me to say to them that awakens them? What do you want me to say that restores their faith in you? What do you want me to say that refreshes them? So today my word was refreshed and revived. The revival, that's truly when I said in the description, what is happening in our world? I'm not fearful of it. I'm excited about it. I've been excited about my walk of life, my blessings that he's taken me to ever since I started this show 2.5 years ago. And I knew that all of it was going to have this overarching theme of positivity, giving people hope, having them find their blessings, understanding to believe, but at the same time, to understand that we'll all go through really horrific times. Do we wish it on anybody? No. It's how we receive it. It's who we lean on of how we get through it. And this is where those of us that do believe in a higher power, God, Jesus Christ, whatever your religious beliefs are, your faith beliefs, your spiritual beliefs, to go at it alone and to not let him carry you is where the darkness stays and settles in. And you just feel like you're sinking. Like literally, it's like, I can't get out of this hole. Even though you see even a glimpse of light. And I always ask everybody, is there a glimpse? Is there a thread left, right? So we think of all the different analogies that we can use. When we are sewing a beautiful piece of whatever we're going to wear, a blouse, a skirt, a man's suit, whatever it is, if you have a thread, boy, you can make something beautiful, right? If you have a glimpse of light, which we do now, and if I shifted my camera, you would see that it was foggy when I went on this morning. That's the fog that a lot of you feel you're in. But it will clear. It happens. Kristen says faith is the belief in God and trusting him, holding on to the belief that things will work out with him. For those of you that are signing on, we've got about 40 of you. I'd love to see these numbers go up. I'm so lit up on fire today. You feel it? I've had 0 tea. Obviously, you know I don't drink coffee. I don't do caffeine. I am in love with life. I'm in love with teaching you all that you can have this as well. Look, I've been through hard times. My life was saved when I had my blood clot at 19. My father died when I was 24 years old. I have gone through sickness. I've watched my brother deal with 2 forms of cancer. We've had a lot in the family. My other brother dealing with things, my sister, my dearest friends, a very dear friend of mine that stood beside me in my wedding who lost her husband, who was one of my husband's dearest friends from cancer. Yes, we've been ripped apart as a family and as a nation. But we don't stay in the pain. We, in fact, how do we honor those who have gone before us? We don't just stop living, because then their death is for nothing. I mean, that's what I said a couple of weeks ago. If we don't change as a society and come together and break through the hate and the division, then Charlie's death and his assassination was for nothing. There's no way that's the case. You watch people in that stadium, 100,000 people inside, 100,000 people outside, millions across the world that are now going into church again. Why? Why? Tell me. For those of you that haven't been in a while, by the way, why do you feel you're going again? Why do you feel that you're being called back or being called for the first time? Those are questions I will ask you as well. Tell me that. What is making you open your Bible? What is making you believe again, maybe for the first time ever? Having faith over fear. That's what we're discussing today. And I want to hear from you, more of you, men, women, kids. Text your friends, call your friends, tell them Monica is lit up right now and she wants to hear from you. I hope you can do it live. If not, when you watch later, do a little hashtag replay for me so that I get that notification. I want to know more of you. What is faith? And for those of you that have answered, how do you go deeper? How do you continue your faith, and how do you not lose it? Because it's very easy to have had such a strong faith. Maybe, like I said, my upbringing, maybe you were the same way. Maybe it was a strong foundation, but maybe you lost your way, because everything I'm hearing right now, all over social media, what I'm seeing on TV, are people who are saying, I have been brought back to my faith. I lost my way, but I have found it again. Why do you think you have found it? And maybe you fall into that category. What made you find it again? We're talking about faith. What's your definition? We're talking about fear. What's your definition? We'll have more of that.
I was just on the Real Monica Adams show, and it was really a good experience for me. When I walked in, the building is just peaceful. The environment is beautiful here. Monica really made me feel welcome.
The Monica Adams show allows people to be themselves. It's really important to share kindness, to be real, to offer stories and things that will give people hope and a reason to smile.
Rather than waking up aggravated, disappointed, and wondering, where's this earth going, choose to wake up with something that'll put your mind and your heart in the right direction. Start with Monica.
I just love how Tony Twist says it. And that's who that is, by the way, in case you don't recognize the wonderful St. Louis Blues former enforcer, Tony Twist, who was recently on the show. And that's the thing. If you have guests that you would like for us to have on the show, let me know. You can shoot me an email at info@therealmonicaadams.com if you'd like to become a sponsor of the show and be a part of the revival that's happening in the world, because that's what we've been doing for 2.5 years. And if you don't think I'm going to ramp it up even more with what we're seeing, I will. And this is why I'm so fired up today, because I feel like that's what we need. This platform, our brand, can help you in so many ways. You all know I'm a personal trainer. I am a life coach. I have clients that I help through the trauma from the past, the demons, the enemy that tried to block them. And as they say, did until we connected, because it really is our choice to stay in the pain, the trauma, the addiction, the abuse. I know a lot of you have been through that. So life coaching, personal training, mentally, physically, spiritually, that is what this show is all about. So again, reach out to me. If you've got a story that you just think is a wonderful story of hope that we can bring others, that's what we do. Mondays and Tuesdays, I'm on set, by the way, for those of you that are new to the show. We have our studios in Fenton, Missouri, affiliated with Adventure Unknown. Great place. Can't wait to go there tomorrow and see my beautiful friend Abby perform for a lot of the members, a lot of our friends that will be there as well. And I want to thank Trattoria Giuseppe, by the way. We're going to feature him on Friday. He is providing food for this wonderful event we have tomorrow night. And then I want you all to mark this on your calendar, October 12th on Sunday from noon to 5. He is going to be giving back big time to our first responders, our firefighters, our police, our paramedics, our dispatchers, etc. Everybody that falls in the realm of first responders. If you want to help our true heroes, come that day. I mean, look, fill your bellies with some of the most incredible Italian food that you have ever had, from maybe a hidden gem that you've never been to in Imperial, Missouri. So Jim and I will be there with some other volunteers serving you some wonderful food and then giving back. So $30, that's it, for as much as you want. You go through the lines. Meatballs, I'm telling you, don't miss the meatballs. They're incredible. Tons of different pastas. He's got a pork tenderloin that he has for you. He's got ham, desserts. It's incredible. And again, giving to Responder Rescue. Well, welcome back. Again, if you're just tuning into the show and you're new to the show, I'm welcoming you. Whether you found it on your own, which some people say, oh my gosh, I just came across and I love this show. Well, fantastic. If somebody told you about the show, please thank them for me, because I know a lot of you will say, hi, so-and-so, you like, in your comments, I can see that you're excited that the person that you wanted to watch the show was signing in. Faith is believing in God, is what Kathy says. What I asked going into the break was, what does faith look like to you? But I'd also love you to fill in the blanks of, what does fear look like? Stephanie says, God guides me through every day, good and bad times. Amen, Stephanie. He helps me to be kind and help others. As she said, 2015 was her bad time. I love to go to church and worship with my church family. Okay. Blessings are gratitude. Get your heart in gratitude and you begin to see the things around you that seem like difficulty, but reality is they are blessings. The gift of blessings, he's always there. And then also, when you get out of your own headspace and you volunteer, you help people around you. That's what God calls us to do. And it's healing. I mean, I'd love to see more and more of you be called to volunteering. It fills your heart and soul. It's interesting. I keep looking outside and now there's a little bit of fog left, but it's not as heavy as it was. So doesn't that feel like life? It's really, truly transforming right outside of my window and your window. Just look outside. It was so deep and dense fog this morning. Then it was beautiful and it cleared about a half hour ago. And then it came back. Isn't that poetic in life? That's how it is. It's like, it's there. It's a choice for us to see only the storm, see only the clouds, not see our way through poetically, right? Spiritually. And then you look out and go, okay, but I can see a mixture. I can see clear, beautiful trees. And then there's a little fog that's still up in the air. Is your faith in the air? Okay, that's what I'm asking. Faith over fear today. Okay, so Gabriel says fear is usually an apprehension about the uncertainty of the future. Okay, Mama D said, Erica Kirk, it's our job as Christians to evangelize and help these people that walked to a church after Charlie's assassination. She put this on us and we have an obligation to continue what he started. But there's some people out there, and I want to hear from these people. I think they're afraid, as they were trying to do on these campuses. The people who don't agree with us, that side with the enemy, are afraid to make comments live. And I'm literally doing what Charlie did on these campuses every day, which is opening this all up, being real and authentic to say, come on, talk with me. I love to interact. It's literally why I go live every morning. It's why I don't have a recorded show, because see, you can hide behind a recording. You can hide as a keyboard warrior that you think you are, the negative hate that you spew upon people that don't think the same way that you do. I'm having this as open as a discussion. I would love for you to text people that are in your followers, your family, your friends to say, hey, come on, show them where to watch. Ideally, for those of you that might be on my personal page, and I can have Gabriel go over to make sure nobody's commenting on there, because I don't see the comments come in, unfortunately, live on my personal page. He always goes over there and tells you, if you want to interact with me, please follow. And actually, Gabriel, if you haven't done that yet, please go over to my personal page. Make sure that they know to look on the business page. My Monica Adams page is where you interact with me. So if you're hearing and going, oh, I thought I was on that, you're probably on my personal page. If you're one of the friends that are on that page, yes, I see them after the show. But if you're wanting to interact live, go to my Monica Adams page on Facebook, go to our @The Real Monica Adams pages on YouTube, on Instagram, on X, on Rumble, on LinkedIn. We're on Twitch as well. So we did add another platform. I actually had a meeting the other day. A guy said, hey, are you on Twitch? I said, we are. I don't always turn that platform on, but why not? Because again, in life, offer it up, and people are either ready to take it, ready to run with it, or they're not. So Gabriel really a poignant part that he said, that fear is usually an apprehension. I love that word, and I think that is so true. For those of you that haven't responded yet, please don't feel afraid to put your thoughts out there. That is the world we were in. And when I said I truly believe, and I'm asking you, you can just simply type in the word yes or no, right? So then I can feel your fear that might still exist. Do you feel that there is a shift in our world right now? And if you do, where do you think it's coming from? That's what I want to know from you. So you could simply say, because you don't want to put anything else out there, yes, no, that's fine. That's a discussion. That's a start, by the way, because that is all we need. Some of you felt for those of you that felt that Charlie Kirk was a racist or misogynist or a bigot or whatever slander and words I've heard, I've looked at clips. I'm saying this. There are clips that I didn't agree with. However, are they clips that are coming from someone that's stopping the full discussion and I didn't get a chance to see the rest of it play out? That's a possibility. For those of you that truly did feel that he was hate-filled, boy, I don't know. You're going to need to continue to watch what his movement was from when he was a very young teenager to him being taken at 31. All I felt from every one of these was, I'm just wanting to hear from you. People say, no, all he wanted was to hear from people who thought the same way as him. I don't know. Again, you're right. You have the right to your own opinion. I felt that he was unapologetic about his faith for God. And that is how I've always been. Look, we're going to end the show here in just a bit with a devotional, and we have tons. And so I'm asking all of you, answer yes or no. Do you feel that there is a shift that's happening in the world? For all of you that have already made a comment, feel free to say yes or no. For those of you that haven't yet, and you're sitting at home and you're silent and you're acting like you want to say something, but you don't, the fear is still over your faith then. Why? I'm not trying to debate. I just want to hear from you. I want to hear from like-minded and those that are not agreeing with us, because that is the only way we heal. That's how I feel. Why is there so much division in this world? It's because people are so afraid to talk to each other. They're so afraid to talk to someone that looks different than them. They're so afraid to understand other cultures. They're so afraid to go to another church and understand another religion or another faith or a spiritual awakening. Kathy says yes. Kathy, again, everybody, just type in real quick, yes or no, yes or no. Do you feel that there is something changing in our world? And if you want to go deeper, tell me, what is it? For me, I have felt, and this is long before the assassination. Stephanie says yes. Kathy says yes. I'd love to see somebody say no. And then I'd love for you to tell me why you don't think. Do you feel that we have stalled, or do you feel that there is a shift? And for those of you that are saying yes, what do you think it is? Because to me, if you go back in my shows, you will hear me say it 6 months to a year ago. And I'm telling you, it's long before September 10th happened. I said, there's something happening in this world. Influencers, celebrities, everyday people were talking about God more and more and more leading up to what happened 2 weeks ago. Now we're hearing of it more. Oh, Kathy says, God is coming and be ready. Ooh, girl, light it up. Gabriel says, I don't know. And that's okay, by the way. I will ask you, Gabriel, being 21 years old, do you feel that more of your generation is speaking out about their faith? And again, we're now saying faith with this connotation is with Jesus, was with God, was with the Trinity, the Holy Spirit, all in one. For those that are in their 20s, those that are in their teens, I know they're at school right now, but I'd like for you to talk to your kids. For those of you that have children, for those of you that have grandkids, nieces, nephews, I'll talk to my godchild. I'm so wanting her to get on the show. She will be turning 15. Oh my goodness, how is this possible? She'll be turning 15 coming up in a couple of months. And I told her I'd love for her to come on because it's those generational talks that we do that I think are so powerful. We have a 100-year-old woman that we celebrated yesterday, Mira, that I want to bring on the show because at 100 years, we need to listen to her and have her tell us how in the world we are going to overcome the hate that we used to feel. She's been in a generation that has seen so much, that has gotten through so much, some truly hard times. Really what I feel is the stronger generation. God is coming, be ready, Kathy said. What do you think about that? Stephanie says people can't handle life's challenges. Yes or no? If you haven't answered yet, do you feel there is something major happening in our world? Yes or no? And if you want to answer deeper, give us more context to that. What do you feel it is? Because like I said, I felt whether it was the algorithms of what was being sent to me, I don't know, but I was influencer after influencer. Younger, I did see, like I'm talking teenagers, early 20s, talking about Bible studies, talking about going to church, talking about opening the Bible, talking about their profound faith for God. And I thought, wow, what's happening here? There's something happening. You remember? Do you all remember me saying it? Because it's a good year ago when I said it. And then 6 months ago, I said it again and thought, what is happening? This is amazing for me to see. And it fired me up even more. I've always had a faith thread, but now I think it's even more powerful. And again, I'm clothing myself in a beautiful outfit of spirituality, a beautiful awakening. Again, I love that word. That's, by the way, it's either going to be the title or it is a big part of the book that I've been writing that I need to finish, The Awakening. And for me, it was an awakening back when I was 19, when God saved my life from that blood clot. An awakening when God put Jim back in my life after being apart for 11 years. My life has forever been an awakening. And to me, we're in a world of that. Do you feel it? Or are you stiff arming it? Football, right? A football analogy. Are you doing this? No, I don't want it. Why? I just want you to not be fearful to speak. If you are someone who says, I'm not ready, I don't want it, I don't believe, this is happening in my life, what kind of a God would allow that to happen? That is who I want to talk to. We need to talk to you because we need to help you. We need to help you understand that, again, it may not be that you go to church. Maybe it is. It may not be that you ever open a Bible. Maybe it is. It may be that you start hanging around new people. It may be that you stop putting the processed food in your mouth. It may be that you put the bottle down. It may be that you stop taking the drugs. It may be, and this is a big, big topic that I want to cover on a future show. It may be that you turn away from the porn and the OnlyFans. Boy, I was so proud of a friend of mine that spoke out and said, as a man, I am going to say this because it's an uncomfortable conversation that people don't want to talk about. But he said, I was addicted to porn. He was spending thousands of dollars on OnlyFans. First of all, that is so degrading on both ends of the spectrum. One, why? Why do you have an OnlyFans channel? You're seeing immediate gratification from the money that you're getting and a ridiculous amount of money. But really, are you proud to say that you're part of that? For those that have an addiction to porn, how do you feel? Ripped down, not in the moment. You have instant gratification. But afterwards, you're going to truly tell me that going to strip clubs and being addicted to porn makes you feel good about yourself? To think, and this is where the guy had the awakening because he now has his own daughter, over a year old. And a pastor looked at him and said, here's what I want you to imagine. Men, young boys, girls, I don't care who, lusting after your daughter. Ooh, if that didn't completely shut him down of thinking, I don't want that. That's gross. Well, yep. And it's what you've been doing to somebody else's daughter or somebody else's son. So think about that. The awakening that's happening. Those OnlyFans, I hope they get shut down. And I know, Charlie, spoke about porn in the past. Again, these are uncomfortable conversations, aren't they? But you got to get uncomfortable. You have to, folks. I'm sorry that is the only way we are going to change in life. You have to get uncomfortable for a massive awakening to take place. Are you ready for it? I'm so ready, and I'm so fired up by what I'm seeing. I cannot wait for it. Welcome to the mobile Monica version of the real Monica Adams Show at my favorite restaurant. There's something about a coffee house that's just very warm and welcoming.
Gives you that sense of community.
What are you most proud of since you've opened it?
I cry easily. I'm thankful for everybody here.
You opened the door during the middle of the pandemic. You got the best Italian restaurant in the United States. Here in St. Louis, you put us on the map. Does it scare you? Do you go through fear?
Terrifying.
So how do you get past the fear?
We find something to laugh about.
And that's how you find us, because I get a lot of people say, how can I find you on YouTube? Right there. We actually made that for you. Go to YouTube, search at The Real Monica Adams, and then never do it again, because all you have to do is hit subscribe. Again, we've been talking about trying to get the following up on all the platforms. Our biggest following is on Facebook, but I want to see that. We've installed in the 27,000 number for a while. I told you, let's get that to 30,000 first of all. Let's get you to 1,000. So those are our first smaller goals, because I want those to keep going. Look, I'm not all about the following, the click, the love, the like. I just want to impact you. And it's interesting because Mama D just said, truly what I want. Some people are all about, well, don't you want to get to 1 million? I just want to impact you. And then from you, I want you to tell others. And so that's what God did, right? That's what Jesus did. He said, I want you to follow me. Follow me. Put that down and follow me. That's what I'm asking of all of you. Subscribe to the channel. Know that this is what we do, that this is how we wake you up in the morning to hope and positivity. We don't wake you up to the negative aspect of life. I didn't get a chance to tell you, by the way, what's on tap for the National Day of Calendar. Let's look at it. Today is National Cherries Jubilee Day, World Dense Breast Day. I'm so glad I'm seeing that, because I need to get either a mammogram or something. I have not had one. And yeah, you guys got to call me on that. It is also National Women's Health and Fitness Day. All right, let's go. Let's get moving. National Punctuation Day as well. And I was looking at some of the top headlines. Let's see. Jimmy Kimmel returned to his late night show after a suspension tied to controversial remarks, using his comeback to defend free speech. I also heard that he broke down and cried. The U.S. may face a government shutdown as Donald Trump canceled meetings with Democratic leaders on stopgap funding legislation. In Italy, tens of thousands struck nationwide to protest the country's involvement in arms transfers to Israel amid the war in Gaza. The 2025 Men's Volleyball World Championship is underway in the Philippines, and there are 32 national teams there. Again, these are the top headline stories. Others have to do with the speech with former President, President Trump using his UN General Assembly address to sharply criticize the United Nations, also pledging support for Ukraine. These are all national stories. From a local standpoint, I didn't see a ton that stood out. And if you go around and you look at what were the top stories, a lot of it is, again, Jimmy Kimmel and President Trump, and really still the movement of what's happened from a couple of weeks ago. I did talk about the rocks that were being thrown down over the overpass at Jameson and Interstate 44. There are more drivers, by the way, that have come forward and said that happened to them as well. I was happy to see that nobody was seriously injured in that. Stephanie said, I did my mammogram yesterday. All right, Stephanie. All right, let's lock arms as a woman. Mama says, I love this conversation. You just never know where you plant the mustard seed and how it affects people. In 2020, I got a call from my niece who was 3 weeks younger than my daughter. She thanked me for planting a mustard seed in her life about Jesus, in the car, playing Christian music and talking about God and telling her about God. I love it. Yeah, you know what? It's funny because I used to get in a car with someone when I was younger that would listen to the same thing. And I don't know, it wasn't Joy FM back then, but it was a Christian station. Then I had people, so it was always kind of around me. And it's whether we have an avergence to it, whether it's what the heck? I don't want to listen to that. Now I find myself the same way. I have Joy FM on constantly. In fact, I want to have their afternoon DJ who has gone through a ton. Speaking of getting the mammograms, I believe she had breast cancer and what she has overcome. So Kim, if you listen to Joy FM, she and I met when I spoke at the Jay Bloom conference. And I said, I got to have you on the show. And she said, I would love that. As we wrap up, I'm going to let you choose. First person that writes it in, it's going to be your choice. Do we need to hear Jesus calling us today? Do we need to hear love the life you have? It's another devotional. Or do we need from Jesus Listens? Whoever wants to, I'm going to let you pick. It's kind of like when my guests are on the show and I let them pick from 100 Days to Freedom books. Which one do you think we need to hear today? And if you are just in the wrap up of the show, this afternoon at 4 o'clock, I'm going to be at Defiance Ridge Vineyards. We're going to do a little Wet Your Whistle Wednesday. And today, Chuck said we are going to talk about Pinot Noir. In fact, I heard my email go off. He actually just wrote me a little bit ago. We've got the farmhouse dinner coming up in November. So Keenan will be the featured farmhouse dinner. So we'll talk about that. We will talk about Grant Long coming on Sunday, November 9th for a special dinner. I can't wait to talk about that. And then wine production as well. We will be discussing by state. So we've talked about how some of this has slipped. Wine sales, alcohol sales, this movement for some having to do with sober curious and sobriety, which I love. Again, for me, I love the pairing of great cocktails or great wine with food. I've never used alcohol as a masking mechanism, as many people do. Why do we see such a movement of sobriety? To me, it has nothing to do with a fad. It has to do with you've all been hurting. You've all turned to the bottle to get rid of your problems. That's interesting. Now, for people who do still want to drink because they enjoy it, it is not at all to go, no, we never did that to anybody that chose to drink or didn't choose to drink. You want a mocktail? Choose the mocktail. You want a cocktail? Choose a cocktail. Don't judge anyone. So I do want to continue to help the industry unless there's a new industry that we need to help. And maybe it's, giving love to both. Stephanie, thank you so much for, again, the reminder of having that. Kathy says, love the life. Okay, that's it. That's what we're going to do. We're going to wrap up with love the life. And I do want to tell you about our wonderful friends at Just Pools. They have been with us since last year, part of our show again this year. And as a lot of you are in the final weeks of wrapping up, yes, it is unfortunately time to close the pools up. So this is when you need to get your chemicals. We already closed ours, but if you haven't closed yours, and maybe in the past you've bought chemicals from someone else, I'm just asking you to support those that support us. Just Pools, they're located at 3987 West Outer Road South. They're in Arnold, Missouri. If you didn't know, and I know a lot of people said, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that you always mention, because I drove out of my way for someone to service the Pentair equipment that they have. No, they're an authorized Pentair warranty service repair station. So they can do so much for you. They can build that pool. Again, here's the deal. It's like the old Field of Dreams movie. If you build it, they will come. Yes, they will. It will change your life to have a pool in your backyard. Trust me on this. It is just so, I don't know, it's just such a serene setting. It's that meditative state, just looking at the water, finding clarity. If you feel lost in life right now, maybe that's something you want to look into. So go talk to Madonna and her team at Just Pools. And for right now, as they do make that transition, if you're saying, okay, I'm also interested in looking at hot tubs, they also have hot tubs. So we thank both Just Pools and Spas and More, two incredible sponsors that really can work hand in hand with each other. Because Madonna said, I get people asking about cold plunges and saunas, and we don't sell those and we don't know where to send them. Send them over to Spas and More. And for Spas and More, I said, Angie, you got to talk to Madonna. You need to tell people where to get their pools, because she gets asked, oh, we're going to buy a sauna, we're going to buy a cold plunge, we're going to buy a swim spa, but where can we also build a pool? Just Pools. Two incredible sponsors of ours, so thank you. Love the life, Jesus listens. Okay, well, Kathy was first, so we're going to do love the life. Stephanie, next time I'll do Jesus listens. Okay, just for you, my friend. So love the life you have. And I just turned to make things less complicated. Okay, this is, by the way, by Nathalie, Nathali. Is that Nathalie? Nathalie? Ouederni. I'm not going to try to butcher her name, but let me put it up here on the screen for you. Maybe Gabriel can find this book and drop it in, and maybe you can get it from Amazon. Love the life you have. And so as we talked about faith and fear today, It's loving where we are, whether it's evil or good, whether it's we're chaotic in our life or not. Love the fact you still have breath in your lungs and that you ultimately have a choice to turn it around. But you got to start taking the steps. You got to own it. Today's a good day to have a good day. Doesn't Rich say that? I'll bet you Rich isn't. I think he says that to us. Richard from Dude's Playground. Today's a good day to have a good day. It's from an unknown author. We don't know who said it, but somebody did because we all like to use it. We make many aspects of life so complicated, don't we? Below is a lovely little reminder to stop doing that. The following that I'm going to talk about has been adapted from the wise words of Dr. Frank Crane, a columnist from the Boston Globe who penned these words all the way back in 1921. Thank you. Gabriel just dropped it in case you want to know the book I'm reading from and if you want to get it yourself. Just for today, I will try to live through this day only and not tackle my whole life problem at once. I'll be happy. Happiness is from within. It's not a matter of externals. I will adjust myself to what is and not try to adjust everything to my own desires. I will take care of my body. I will exercise it. I will care for it. I will nourish it. I not abuse or neglect it. I will try to strengthen my mind. I will study. I will learn something useful. I will read something that requires effort, thought, concentration. That's where we come into prayer and meditation. I will exercise my soul in 3 ways. I will do somebody a good turn and not get found out. I will do at least 2 things I don't want to do. Just for today, I will not show anyone that my feelings are hurt. That's an interesting one because I don't want you to mask it. Maybe you just do it for today. And then tomorrow, you tell someone, I need your help. I'm hurting. I will be agreeable. I will look as well as I can. I will dress as becomingly as possible. I will talk low. I will act courteously, be liberal with flattery, criticize not one bit, nor find fault with anything, and not try to regulate or improve anybody. I will have a program. I will write down just what I expect to do. I may not follow it exactly, but I'll have it. It will save me from hurry, indecision, and discontent. I will have a quiet half hour all by myself to relax and meditate. During that, I will talk with God to get a better perspective on my life. And just for today, I will be unafraid. Especially, I will not be afraid to be happy, to enjoy what is beautiful, to love and to believe that those I love me. Just for today, I will be happy. And then tomorrow, maybe when you feel a little off, maybe it's not as long. Maybe it's not the entire day that you feel like I just want to be unhappy for right now. But maybe that time lasts less and less, that you don't stay in the darkness. Because by the way, if I turn this camera around for you, let's see if I can do this. Look, you see, it's clear, right? It's clear out there. It wasn't this morning. It was very foggy. So it's very poetic how we end the show today, that we started the day in darkness. We started the day in a fog. We started the day in rain and thunderstorms. And some of that, by the way, might come back later this afternoon. But it will clear. This life, this awakening that we have will clear. The revival we're feeling in the world will take over. We've got to make the choice to stomp out evil and allow the good to step forward. God bless you all. I'll see you this afternoon. Grab your mocktail, grab your cocktail, your iced tea, your water. In fact, we'd love to invite you to come to Defiance Ridge. Come, be a part of the show. Be there, eat some incredible food. We're actually going to pair today Pinot Noir with some food. Can't wait to see Chuck this afternoon. So if you didn't know that, we do 2 shows on Wednesdays. 4:00 this afternoon, a little Wet Your Whistle Wednesday. Tomorrow, Yuppie Puppies. It'll be Positive Talk Time with Jessica Cook, and we'll see how the ticket sales are coming along. If you haven't purchased your ticket yet for the gala coming up in November, please do so. Let's help those babies, those voiceless, incredible, God-given animals. Again, take the word God, put it in reverse, and what is it? Dog, our little angels. So we'll be there tomorrow, and then on Friday, Foodie Friday, and our feature on Trattoria Giuseppe. We've got a great week ahead. I hope to see you there, live or on replay. God bless you all, and remember, be kind.